Yeah, so I'm Ilana. I'm an environmental educator from New York City. So I work outside with kids, and when I'm not doing that, I'm with my dog and my husband going outside, hiking and enjoying
Nice.
nature.
Nice. Initially, when you first joined the program, right? Where were you at mentally, physically? What were you struggling with? Like, where were you?
Right after I finished physical therapy for my broken ankle. So that was all of the sessions that my insurance covered, and they're like, "You're good to go." And I'm like, "I definitely am not
Yeah.
good to be walking and doing things." So I really wanted to get back into exercise in a supervised way to get my strength up. Um, and that's been one of my goals to really have strong ankles and strong legs so that I can continue this recovery. I'm just about at the 1 year mark um since they realized that my ankle was broken. And while that was happening with my ankle, my PCOS was all over the place too. Um so since then, now I get my period every month. That's been new. It was like every 90 days before this. I was having some really bad insulin resistance. So it all sort of was tied together, and I wasn't really able to exercise or do any of the things I wanted to do because of my broken ankle.
I feel like were the biggest struggles for you, like when you first joined?
It was really hard at first to eat all the protein that I needed to eat.
Hmm.
Um, a big challenge was trying to figure out the pacing of my eating because I was normally saving most of my eating for the nighttime. Um, but that just wasn't working because I was like forcing myself to eat and my stomach felt like it was ready to explode. It was just too much food
Yeah, I
at
bet,
nighttime.
dude. I've done those type of eatings, those diets. Not really diets, but it's like where you just either you don't have the time or you want to save your appetite towards the end, but then you can't even hit your calorie goal because it's like you have so much food you need to eat in one sitting, and it's just like not possible at all. Um, but I wanted to go back real quick. So you're getting regular periods now, dude. That's freaking awesome. Like, how does that feel?
It feels really great. It's one of my goals in the next year or two to be able to get pregnant. So this is like right on track with where I want to be.
You were struggling with your nutrition. You were struggling with, really like trying to find a good pace, right? Outside of that, like, what do you feel were some of your biggest challenges before joining the program?
Before joining the program, it felt like I was getting whiplash. Different doctors were telling me different things. Different PCOS specialists on Instagram were saying different things. Like everyone was trying to sell a product and a supplement, and it just was just really hard to figure out what to do. Um,
What do you feel like were some of the crazy realizations when you joined the program and you started seeing like a little bit of change in results?
it was crazy to see how much food that I could eat. I didn't know I could eat this much.
Yeah,
And you're losing weight at that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, now I feel like
yeah.
I'm eating all the time, but I'm eating different things than what I was before.
Share some of your wins that you've seen in the program.
I've noticed that I've been taking more selfies. I
Oh,
haven't taken pictures of myself in a really long time.
Nice.
So that's been one thing
wow.
that's been really nice.
Yeah.
Um, just to be confident enough to take selfies. Um, one win that I think is really funny.
Mhm.
Because we were talking about this, me and David were talking about this earlier. My dad is a bodybuilder, and so I went to the gym with him today to do upper, and he was like really impressed with my form and everything.
No way.
She went to a strongman gym.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
looked
So
like
that
that. You
was
like, hold what the hell? What's going on with you? It's funny.
So that was fun. Um, and just to, I got a body composition done at the doctor the last time I was there. So to really see the breakdown of how my strength has improved and where my strength is, and
Mm-hmm.
of how like those results really do match with what I'm feeling too. Like I was able to see that my upper body is stronger than my lower body, which I figured.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like my leg that had the broken ankle is still a little bit weaker, which I also figured that makes sense. So, that was interesting because I'm a science person, so being able to like see the data and
Mm-hmm.
match with what I'm feeling really makes a difference for me.
Yeah,
Nice.
100%.
Uh,
So with seeing all the data and whatnot, or let's just even talk about some wins. Your form is better. You send form videos. You've been working on that. That's a huge win. You're eating more food and you're down 25 pounds or so, right? And we're barely even starting this cut. What would you say to somebody telling you when you first joined the program, you're gonna eat more food and lose 25 pounds?
I think that they were crazy.
Yeah.
I've never been able to eat like this before. I got to go through all my clothes because I've got a bunch of stuff that doesn't really fit anymore.
So another question real quick. You have PCOS, right? For a while, you struggled with your cycles and whatnot. What would you say to people out there that kind of are struggling with PCOS? A lot of women have PCOS, diagnosed or undiagnosed. It's not really talked about in the field. What would your advice be?
Find a plan like this that works for you.
Hmm.
Everyone's different.
Hmm.
Um, and having structure or having the structure for the workouts I think has been really helpful for me.
Hmm.
But also having the flexibility to eat what I want has been nice too. So there's no guilt or any negative feelings with food because PCOS often
Hmm.
goes hand in hand with eating disorders. And when I was in college, when I first got diagnosed with PCOS, I was like working out twice a day and I was restricting my calories. I was only having like 1,000 calories a day
yeah.
and really like punishing myself if I was eating too much. And the scale wasn't even moving. Like it wasn't doing anything. And it just, I couldn't figure out what to do. And that's sort of what the internet and society said to do. So that's what I was trying. And it really was a negative space. And that was one thing that I was afraid of when starting this program, where I didn't want to get into that headspace
Hmm.
with tracking my food like that. Um, but this was looking at the macros more than the calories has been really helpful to avoid that.
Yeah. When was the last time you were 193?
Let's see, I can pull that up because I'm a science person. I have all
You have
of
all the graphs,
my
I remember.
stats.
Yeah.
So the last time I was 193, January of 2023.
2023.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been almost, I would say, give or take 3 years.
Hmm.
Two
Yeah.
months from now, we're hitting 3 years. So in the span of 16 to 20 weeks almost, I think 20 weeks now, we've gotten you to a weight that you haven't seen in 3 years by eating way more than you were before as well. Confidently, I can say that. How does that make you feel, dude? Like, honestly.
It feels really good and it feels like I can definitely like keep this up. I've been able to eat what I want. I love chocolate, so I still get to eat my chocolate every day. I get to eat ice cream. So I don't feel like I have to give up anything.
Hmm.
Um, and like I said, I'm more of a flexitarian nowadays than a full vegetarian, so I'm getting a little bit more chicken and stuff in, but that's all part of the process. I'm open to being flexible, and I like that this makes it really easy to be flexible.
I love
Yeah.
that.
What has stuck out to you about the program?
This isn't necessarily the biggest, but I do really like having the group chat. It's
Hmm.
nice to feel connected with other people.
Hmm.
Um, and have other people going through the same things, and it's nice when people share their recipes and stuff, but also just share random life stuff. It's nice to be
Yeah.
part of a community.
Oh, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that.
But I'll say this, so the biggest thing that's helped is the the Trainer Eyes app, the workouts have all the videos and everything, so I
Mhm.
could really figure out like what I need to do if it, especially if it's a new exercise that you've added.
What would be your advice to yourself, 5 months ago? Like, or someone in your shoes 5 months ago. They're struggling, they don't know what to do with themselves. Like, what do you feel would be the best advice you could possibly give them right now, that everything you've learned so far in the program?
Patient, um, because these changes don't happen right away.
Mhm.
Um, and you might feel discouraged because it's hard. Um, but you really just have to be patient and keep going with it. Um, and maybe you can't meet those goals right away. Maybe you got to make some tweaks, but you got to treat yourself as like an experiment because you're always trying to get the best results for you.
What drives you, Alana? Because honestly, you've been a great client. You hit protocol. When you fall off, you're open about it. But for the most part, you don't really fall off. You're pretty consistent. What drives you and what motivates you?
I'm really stubborn. I was, I have set this goal that this is what I want to do, so I'm going to stick it out no matter how much I suffer. So I want to make this happen. And the more serious answer to that is that I'm 29 now. I'd like to start, we're trying to start family planning. So
Mhm.
I know I don't only have a couple more years before it's considered a geriatric pregnancy, so I really just got to get my body ready for that.
Would you like to add anything before we wrap this up?
Um, you guys have both been great. It's really nice to be part of this community. Yeah, and you guys have been pretty available with the texting and everything else.
Nice. Thanks.
Love that,
Wasn't
dude.
expecting
Love
that.
that.